I'm Miranda Bolden. I chose to build my company Logicor in one of the world's leading science and technology business centers right here in Huntsville, Alabama. Successful entrepreneurs and innovators excel here, and now you get to meet them. Hear the stories that lead to their success and the secrets that will help you thrive right here on The Miranda Show. Welcome to The Miranda Show. We are excited today to welcome Dr. Patricia Sims. She's the president of Drake State Community and Technical College, and we're excited today to hear about her leadership and how she plans to energize this new college right here in Huntsville, Alabama. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. So, Dr. Sims, tell us a little bit about your background and what inspired you to go into education.
Okay, so I am a lifetime educator. And the thing is, it wasn't my chosen path. God just kind of led me that way because of my experiences through my undergraduate career, working with students. A lot of the work that I did was in mentoring and working with students in different labs. I'm an undergraduate major in biology, and so I just kind of evolved into the path and enjoyed sharing with others. And so learned that I could have a broader impact as an administrator, so took that path. I'm very fortunate that I've had the opportunity to work at all levels of education. So I've worked in P-12, community college system at the university level, and so so I feel like I'm truly a lifetime educator, and it's a great place to be right now because education is really exciting at all levels.
It absolutely is. Yes. You were recently, before this particular venture, at Athens State College. Tell us about that experience there and how you believe that prepared you for this role.
Okay, so my experience at Athens State University, I was in the role of Dean for the College of Education, and I was excited about the work that I did there. One of the things that I was proud of was that we had the largest undergraduate teacher education program in the state, and so very proud of that, and to add graduate level programs to Athens State University. So those experience and that broad scope of education and how it impacts life, all levels of life in our community, was really helpful as I came back and transitioned back into the community college system to continue that work. So it's just been helpful, and it helps us to have a broader look at how we need to be more responsive as education evolves, and how we need to respond to the changes, that our economy, our nation, our community are demanding.
Okay. You also served at Drake State for 12 years.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience and the idea of coming back in a different role.
Oh, it was so great to come home. Yes. So I was so fortunate to have worked in the community college system prior to going to Athens State at Drake, and so in many ways it has been a homecoming for me. One of the benefits of that is that I've always had a passion for the college, love the college deeply, and see the great potential that it has to offer our community. And so being able to come and try to impact that work, do that work in our community for the college, I am so excited about. It's challenging work, but it's so rewarding for me both personally and professionally.
Let's talk a little bit about Drake College. Tell us your typical profile of your student population.
Okay, so that is the best thing about Drake State. There's an entry point or place for Drake State for everyone, and what I mean by that is if you're in high school, we offer dual enrollment classes. If high school was not your thing, you did not complete, we have opportunities in our adult education program. If you went to college, if you graduated and you want to continue on, we offer academic transfer courses that would transfer to any of our four-year universities, so we have that option. But if you did not go and you're thinking, okay, there's lots happening in the city, I want to get involved, then you can come through workforce development training. So wherever you are, Drake State has a place for everyone. And so that's one of the things that's the most exciting, because there's so much happening in our community and there are demands in each one of those areas, and Drake State offers that for everyone.
What is the current enrollment rate?
Okay, so we are in summer and gearing up for fall, super excited. And so as we think about enrollment, we're looking at enrollment in a three-pronged aspect, because our mission is three-pronged. Academic transfer, so those traditional students who are coming to get courses, who want to take their general education courses and transfer. So we're working on growth in that area. Also in workforce development, because workforce development is huge in our city. It's growing. And so business and industry are saying we need people to come to work. And so we're offering more, partnering with more businesses and industries to provide training, so growth in that area. And in our adult education population, providing those services, as well as our dual enrollment programs are expanding. So in each of the areas where we offer services to the community, we look at we're expanding enrollment in all those areas. So that's exciting for us.
How challenging has recruiting been for Drake? The way that recruiting is done now is different than how it was done years ago.
It is. Education is different. The students that we are training, they're different, very different. And so what that means for us is, because we provide services for such a diverse group, we have to reach out and tap into those different communities with different strategies and techniques. Our dual enrollment programs, of course, it really is important. And I know your nonprofit, Inspire and Achieve, does some of this work, helping to reach down into the schools to expose young people to the opportunities that are available to them early. A part of that, so doing a part of that, that's attractive, and that helps move us with adult education students. Then in business and industries, those are partnerships and relationships. So we have to be present in the community and build those relationships to let them know that we can help provide the training to skill up their employees if they need a new skill set, and we can partner with them in those efforts. So it really is a matter of us strategizing and looking at unique ways to reach each of the populations that we serve.
And you are very active in the community, and we'll come back in a few minutes. We're going to take a break and just talk about some of the things that you're doing to partner with industry as well as your relationship in the community. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a moment with Dr. Patricia Sims.
This episode is sponsored by De Beers.
Bryant Bank wants to help you save time when you need it most. Can't get to the bank to deposit a check? Don't worry, deposit it in seconds on your smartphone. Want to make a deposit on the weekend? Not a problem. Use our smart ATMs that accept checks and cash. Bryant Bank debit cards are even instantly issued at any branch and can be locked or unlocked with a simple click on your phone. Bryant Bank, unbeatable service, legendary results. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the show. We're back with our guest, Dr. Patricia Sims, the president of Drake College here in Huntsville, Alabama. So Dr. Sims, I want to talk a little bit more about your role in the community and what you're doing in response to that. I know you're a member of the Rotary Club.
Yes, we're fellow members of the Huntsville Rotary Club.
And so I'm excited about that. But talk to me about why those partnerships in the community are important to you.
Well, one of the things that I was raised to just keep being involved in the community, and so it comes very easy, and this is a wonderful giving community, a great community that supports engagement and open and being involved. And so for the college, Rotary, of course, offers a great opportunity. We support organizations across the community. Many of the faculty and staff at the college are encouraged to be involved in local organizations. For me, in addition to working with Huntsville Rotary, I also support the WDC Foundation and that group, and they do work for young women, providing scholarship opportunities for them.
Excellent organization.
Absolutely. Yes. Also involved in my sorority is Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and so very actively engaged in the sorority, as well as my church. Also on a broader level, I'm involved with the Alabama Forever Wild Board. So that's good work. I love being outdoors and that kind of thing. So I have lots of kind of different interests and try to find opportunities to plug those in community service across the city.
Back to your leadership style, you've been known to be a creative and innovative leader. What creative and innovative ways that you have going on that totally excites you right now?
Okay, well, the most exciting thing that I have right now is really not even about me, it's about my team. Because the team at Drake State, we've assembled a great team, and so I'm excited about the way that we're working together and finding new and creative ways to leverage partnerships, resources, and collaborate across the community. So, and that's really critical, because you're a great leader, so you know none of that is housed in any one person, and so allowing everyone around you to grow and develop their talents and skills and bring their level of creativity to a project, that's what's important, and that's what excites me about where we're going at Drake State right now.
Well, that's awesome. I recently saw on your website you guys are recruiting for a STEM outreach coordinator. Talk to me about Drake and your role in STEM.
So Drake is Drake's a community and technical college, and all of our programs are aligned with STEM. And we know for this area, the programs that are really expanding are advanced manufacturing, our hospitality, culinary hospitality industry, our healthcare programs, and our cybersecurity. And so we offer all of those programs at Drake State. And so that person, the STEM coordinator, we're hoping that they again can assist us with exposing young people, because a lot of this is information, and not just young people but parents, because many times we can inform young people, but we also need to educate the parents and the entire community about the opportunities that exist here.
Absolutely. And you mentioned advanced manufacturing. What organizations have you partnered with thus far?
So we've been partnering with organizations, all of course, our large manufacturers in the city, but we do not want to just focus on those because there are a lot of small businesses that need the same level of support. And so we are trying to work with businesses both large and small across the community to make sure that we meet the workforce needs.
Okay, very good. Talk to me a little bit about, what's a good day for you at Drake College?
Okay, every day's good. Okay.
I mean, a fantastic day.
Yes. Okay, so some of the things that are most rewarding for me, and this is a bit selfish, is when I have the opportunity to engage with students and they can share with me a success story, a great experience that they had in class, that kind of thing. And that's very rewarding for me because oftentimes I am out in the community. And so, but it's just as rewarding though is when I hear folks across the community say, I mean, there's so many Drake State stories. Drake has such a rich history in our community, and I meet people and they're always saying someone, if it's not them, it's someone in their family had a Drake State experience. And when I hear those great stories and learn of the successes that Drake has been a part of across this community, it is super exciting, and it's encouraging and invigorating to know that we're doing the right thing and going in the right direction.
Very good. Work-life balance. How do you balance work and life at this point in your career?
Okay, so I'm still retrofitting, yes. Okay.
It's always difficult, right?
Yeah, it is a challenge, but I am a very spiritual person, so, I carve, that time is sacred for me. And then I love, having girlfriends, my family, my church family. It's all reading, trying to stay abreast, just doing some good reads. We some members of the team we're reading Dr. Brene Brown, Dare to Lead. And you probably, I'm sure you'll read, I saw some of your books posted, but she talks about, leading with compassion and bringing people along. And so all of those things, and then trying to stay healthy so that we can do this work. That's trying to fit it all in. So again, I'm still retrofitting my life to this new role, but we're headed in the right direction.
We are definitely headed in the right direction. Yes. And we are super excited about your leadership. We believe that you're going to do great things with Drake's long, impressive history. And so thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for being a part of our show. Would you like to leave any parting words with our audience?
Yes, we want to share with the community that Drake State there is a place for you at Drake State, and our goal, your future, whatever that is, we are committed to focusing on it. So we look forward to seeing all of you, if not to attend a class or a training or a course, to just visit our campus and see some of the great work that we have going on at Drake State. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you.
And stay tuned for our next guest, Mr. Devyn Keith, the Huntsville City Council President.
Huntsville has a rich cross-section of successful entrepreneurs. Hear for yourself how they became leaders. Join us as local innovators share tips, secrets, and the know-how that could help you thrive. The Miranda Show on WAFF 48.
Welcome back to the show. Joining us tonight, we have Mr. Devyn Keith. Devyn Keith is one of the youngest city council members, as well as the youngest president ever to serve in the Huntsville City Council. So Keith, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for being here.
So good.
Thank you. And I tried to match up the blue, but
Yes.
I like it. So.
Well, you did good.
Yes,
you did
ma'am.
good.
Yes, ma'am.
You have accomplished so much before the age of 30. Talk to us about your experience and some of the things that you've experienced at such an early age.
Well, I'm glad you said early, because it feels like I'm at the age of 50. But you know, politics is a unique thing. You get a chance to really meet people where they are, and a lot of that time is really in a tough spot, and they want to see what things you can do to help them be, in some sense of upward mobility. So, when I came on as a city council member at a young age, and now as a president, you're really trying to take City Hall and put it in everybody's front door. So the accomplishments, I'm very thankful for those accolades, but at the end of the day, the success is just that North Huntsville, and really Huntsville, is growing at the rate that it is.
And that it needs to be.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're from Huntsville.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised, started in
passion.
Northwoods. Yes, ma'am. And I can say for a lot of things that probably, if I'm being honest, because we can be honest.
We need you to be honest.
We're gonna be honest. I was not coming back here. When I left,
honest.
yes, ma'am. I left like a lot of my friends did. Went to go to grad school, applied to Harvard, ended up at UMass and such. And I thought I was gonna make a lot of money, travel the world, fast cars and such. But now that I'm back in the home and really the village that raised me, it feels like where I'm supposed to be. The good Lord has blessed me to be here. Huntsville is really truly my home. It's my village. So it's exciting to be a part of trying to uplift the village that sort of raised you.
Mm-hmm. Just going back a little bit, so when you left home and went to college, you actually went to Birmingham.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about that. You had a football scholarship.
Yes, ma'am. Back in the day when I was in better shape, I used to be able to play a little football and sign a scholarship. My mother, I remember the first thing she said, I don't care where you play, it's about what school has the best education. Sanford University is bar none in the state of Alabama. So I got a chance to play there, get my education, and because of that education, got a chance to go to UMass, get the scholarship there as well. But it's extremely important, for me to say that what happened here in Huntsville, Alabama really prepared me for those two stages in my life.
Okay. And so deciding to get into politics, I understand you first started out with your own nonprofit.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to me about that.
Well, it's morphed in a lot of ways, but the state of Alabama has a number of reputations, and one of those tough ones is that we really don't handle foster care well. And one of the issues we were having was the transition period for a large amount of our delinquent foster care. So really, honestly, we've been sent out the door through DHR and said, go enjoy your life after 18 and 21 years old. Well, there's a lot of recidivism in the prison system because of that. So we started Brothers of One Voice to basically give a track plan for about 6 to 12 months for those individuals coming out of foster care, which coincided in me becoming a foster parent. But
congratulations.
No.
We've been talking a lot about
hats
foster
off to
care.
that Lord. Yes.
Thank you.
Pray for me. But I'll say politics sort of in a way found me. It was not the plan for my life. At some point, you ask yourself, how do you really affect change? And it just so happened that City Council was the spot for this season in my life. This won't be me forever. And luckily, hopefully, I'm cushioning the seat for whoever comes after me. But I can tell you, it's
not yet.
Yes,
Not yet.
It is a process. I've been blessed. I was mentored by Senator Mo Cowan, a chance with Elizabeth Warren, the list goes on, to really receive a lot of wisdom and be a sponge. So I feel prepared for it, but every day will show you that you got more preparation to do.
So deciding to run for District 1, there was long-term leadership in that role.
Yes,
what challenges did you face, and what challenges are you still facing?
I have, and it's really ironic. For the record, Dr. Showers, who is a titan of which I stand on his shoulders, just being in the position I am in now, took office the day I was born. And, in that reference, uniquely, he is a legend in my community. And it was one of those things where we really didn't think we were going to win. Don't tell my team that. But, we were really running on a shoestring and a couple of potato chips. We really had no big budget. We had, maybe some yard signs and maybe a couple of good ideas. But that's how infectious change is. People wanted to raise the standard and increase the quality of life, and they were willing to take a chance on a little kid like me. So it was unique.
How would you say your youth impacted that? The way we market and campaign now is very different than how it used to be.
And it's a little ironic in politics. We really assess that age has some sense, which it does in some ways, of correlation of success. But inversely, as you know, in what you do and what we have in the workforce around here in CRP, we're trying to attract the millennials and the youth. Yes. I would say that it has been unique because even at 30, in my old age, the next youngest, and I won't call that name, on council is 62 years old. So, for me to have that big of a generational gap, and that at one point was the standard of the council, you can understand that now bringing in new ideas, not necessarily always wearing a tie, wearing some Jordans every once in a while, it has started the conversation about, what really do we attract to politics and overall administrative governance in the city of Huntsville. So hopefully, though I have kicked in the door and made some people uncomfortable, it has now eased the view of a younger generation having some sense of leadership in the community.
Okay, and are you being embraced by the older? Because when I look at the older generation, I think it's great because, again, we stand on their shoulders. How has that wisdom helped you to kind of bridge the gap between the younger and the older generation? Yes,
ma'am. I can honestly say that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the prayers and support of a large amount, especially, as my grandma would say, more seasoned crowd. But I would say it's understandable that there is a lot of friction and dissonance because there are things that I'm trying to do and we are doing that are juxtaposed to the way that they do things. And I say that in a way that it's not a problem for me because that starts a conversation, that starts a dialogue. And having the interactions with more seasoned individuals in my community and leadership as well helps me to grab wisdom and absorb wisdom, but also for them to see perspective. And I had, I'll never forget it. I was over at Johnson Townhouse and he says, I can't vote for anybody who is younger than my best pair of socks. And I remember saying to him, I said, you know what? Where did you get those socks? So having an understanding of that perspective that we can learn from both, and then our interactions from henceforth have been positive, it's unique for us both. And
it's definitely value in that. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we want to talk to Mr. Keith about just some of the great things that you're doing on in District 1 in North Huntsville, and just some of the things that the community can do to continue to support your efforts.
Yes,
we'll be back in a moment.
This episode is sponsored by De Beers.
You probably don't spend a lot of time thinking about banking. You're probably more focused on living for today and planning for tomorrow. That's why Regions puts you first. We know there's more to you than your checking account. You're dreaming about a vacation home, or season tickets for your team, or finally taking those paddleboarding lessons. With our people, our tech, and our tools, we make your life easier because we get it. Some things are bigger than banking.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Joining us tonight is Mr. Devyn Keith, the Huntsville City Council President. Welcome back. We'll jump right back in. We were talking about, what things you've done and what growth you see in North Huntsville. But before we get into that, I'd like to know a little bit about you living in the community. I understand that you have a goal to live in all segments of North Huntsville, just to get a sense of the needs that are really there. Talk to us about that experience.
Yes, ma'am. And I would say I don't know if I recommend it, but I've learned to become a minimalist. Originally, this was after we got elected. I had a conversation with somebody in Tarrant Heights, and Ms. Roberts said the only time that we see elected officials is when you guys run for office. So I said that's a great point. So I decided to live in the worst economic depressed and socioeconomic depressed communities. Now at my fourth one in Meadow Hills, and we just do a year. So we go January to December. And man, it has humbled me in a lot of ways. And again, that perspective of those individuals who have a disconnect, who believe City Hall is all the way down in probably Wetumpka, Alabama. They feel so far from City Hall and don't understand that City Hall is made to come to them, taking a proactive measure. I've had everything from somebody knocking on my door just to enjoy my AC on a hot day, to somebody leaving their cat at my front door and saying, Councilman, can you watch it for a while? So it has been an experience in perspective. We've tried to reduce crime in certain places where we've seen great success, and we've really invested in these neighborhoods in a way I don't think I would have if I didn't live in them.
Okay, yeah, I understand that you guys have implemented a community resource
Yes,
center, increased the police activity over there,
Absolutely.
and just done many things to kind of support the area. Talk to me about that.
Yes, ma'am. So you want to do it in an innovative way. This goes back to just sort of bringing in new ideas. One, you don't want police officers to have some perspective that they only show up when things are bad. Proactively having police officers in the neighborhood and a light-on perspective where we actually bought a house from Habitat for Humanity and revamped it to where it has Wi-Fi, it has food, it has, in the summer we had barbecues. The police officers would be there 24/7 and just interact with the neighborhoods. Our calls had gone down from about 17% to about 22% in that local area. And it also changes the response time. We integrated technology, cameras, tag readers, And the areas where crime was a little too comfortable, we saw a 22% decrease in about a year and a half. Now, sustaining that will be tough, but I'm excited to see that just a simple step of integration, taking the right police officers and integrating them into the community and having the community feel that they're integrated has had a positive effect on the overall quality of life.
Okay. Do you feel that educating the community is taking hold the way that you'd like it to be?
Yes, ma'am. And it's a progressive step. It's really a great question that a lot of people don't understand that you have onus as well. The city can't fix every problem. One of those things is how we look at the aesthetics, the yard, the litter, so forth and so on. So we started, the beginning of the year is, spring cleaning day. The first time that we did it, I think I was the only one out there with a weed whacker. This last year, we had 235 volunteers, so people are starting to reinvest in changing, with onus of their own two hands, their own neighborhood's perspective.
Oh, great. So what challenges do you currently face, would you say, with just working with the community, and what would you like to share with our audience about how they can better embrace you and your leadership?
Unless somebody wants to come and open a Chick-fil-A, I would just say, I actually think it's very simple, and it doesn't seem like it is, but there's actually a perspective on social power. Social media has had an effect. If I said something about South Side of Chicago, most people would automatically think of crime. We don't want there to be a segment of the community of Huntsville, which is the greatest city in Alabama, to have a negative social perspective on it that it cannot get away from, that it cannot escape. So having positive impact, like a university like Drake, like Alabama A&M, having conversations around the success of a school like Jemison, being involved and integrating it in positive ways. And that literally does mean being on Facebook, being positive about North Huntsville, helps in the process as we continue to build slowly but surely on what will be the overall increase in quality of life for the city of Huntsville.
Oh, good deal. Let's talk for a minute about economic development.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
understand you have a big push. The city is supportive of it.
Yes, ma'am.
You've torn down a few buildings on North Huntsville. It's looking great.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to me about some of the efforts and initiatives that you have going on that we should all be really, really excited about.
Right, and that's why I say for the next person as well, I'm planting seeds, and Johnny Appleseed in a way, but a lot of the things that we were having was that, you can't put paint on a canvas that already has bad paint on it. We had to clean that canvas in a lot of ways, and now we're seeing so many people coming and say, I want to be on this part of the parkway, I want to be in this part of Huntsville. Housing developments are coming to us, and we're now having to sort of reconsider, our perspective. What do we really want and what do we not want? Which is a great problem to have. I mean, one great example is Gander Mountain closed. It took about, a year and a half, but we went after it and found Rural King to come in. How do you repurpose large buildings like that and getting people to sign 5 and 10 year leases, believing in North Huntsville. So we have had the biggest economic budget that North Huntsville specifically have had in 10 years, and then the city itself in about 15. So we're excited about what it's going to come, but it gets down to simple things as well. I mean, more people are excited about driving on Oakwood because it's paved than because everybody wants to get to G's Country Kitchen. So I think it's a mixture of things, but I would say to the individuals who are watching, keep the positivity, find out the things that are going on that are good. We have wonderful universities, we have wonderful high schools, we have wonderful successes, and then you share those things. Do not let us have a social stigma that we do not deserve.
How has your relationship been with your colleagues and elected officials, particularly Tommy Battle?
If he gets on this show, he would say it's good, but I would say I'm getting on their nerves. Every chance I get, I try and bring something new to the table. Every chance I get, I send an email, look at this, I send them a picture. But in all honesty, I wouldn't get anything done like this if they weren't supportive. I'm getting 5-0 support from the council and the mayor and his administration that supported efforts, very aggressive efforts, things we have never done in North Huntsville and maybe even the city. Battle has been a blessing. Now, in a lot of ways, he's been a blessing to the city of Huntsville, but he understands how we now have to orient to those places that need a little bit more support and resources, and we're doing it in, like I said, an innovative way in North Huntsville.
I think you're a great voice for that community, and I pray that you will continue to do great things.
Thank you. Keep me in your prayers.
Thanks for watching our show today, and make plans to join us next week for another riveting conversation with leaders and innovators right here on The Miranda Show.